the Centorians, in order for them to be self-sufficient, they started their own mining operation. They really needed to get all the materials that they need to build their city, their houses, their buildings, streets, and stuff. This ended up being something way bigger than what they thought that it would be, and they started exporting the glass, the metals, and even the raw materials. So the mining became the main economic activity in the city, and most of the profit of the city came from that. Right before I started with the build of the mine, I had to build a high density residential area with some commercial and stuff for us to bring people to fill the working spaces that we were going to be making with the mines. And as you know, we are playing with the realistic population mod, which brought a lot of traffic issues, and I ended up spending like 3 or 4 hours doing traffic fix, building interchanges and changing the type of road, dedicated turning lanes and stuff. And at one moment I was at 35% of traffic, but in the end I ended up being back at 85%, so it was really worth it. If you saw the first episode, you maybe saw me trying to explain the difficulty about having this terrain where you have a very high plateau, then a very low plateau, and how could you communicate in between them. And I wasn't even thinking about having to have trucks going from one part to the other. And this was a very hard challenge. You can see me doing the road that communicates the lower part with the upper part. And when I had the 8,000 Centorians in the city, I plugged the cable car and I put it to work. I had no idea how this worked because I've never even thought about putting it in one of my cities. And then I started checking out if people was using it, and I started seeing cars that were 0 out of 30 and 1 out of 30, 0 passengers per week. And I really don't know if this is going to work. I had to do something because this is the only way that we can have something going on in this city. Even at the end of the episode, I check out the cable car station and it said 10 people was riding the last week, so there's not a lot of people using it. And I banned the cars from going to the mine through the road, so people had to go through the mass transit, but it didn't make any difference in that. I was searching for some inspiration for the mines in the internet, and I found some pictures and videos where people use these rocks to fill the areas and stuff, and it really looks very nice. But it's very hard to plop this rock because they are mostly like props. They don't have the mechanics of the normal vanilla rocks, so you have to plop the rock and then go to the move it mode and move it manually one by one, and this is so hard to do. I wanted to do more of that in this build, but I really got tired of doing the same, and I think that I got something very beautiful, but I could really do better than that. One of the most iconic stuff that we had in this build is this grand mining operation that we have in here. I don't know the exact name of that, but it's something vanilla. It's a stuff that you can find in the Industries DLC, and sometimes there's nothing wrong with using vanilla asset, especially when you are talking about the Industries DLC. This is one of the best DLCs that they have made for this game. I highly recommend you to download this DLC and try it, because it brings so many good mechanics to the game and a different approach of how to build your industry area. So I highly recommend you to use this DLC in your city. The other iconic stuff that we had in this build, not because of what it is, but because of the level of difficulty that we had to build it and make it look good, was the cargo train terminal. Mostly because of the tracks, because I had a rough time trying to make them look nice using the network multi-tools and making good slopes and stuff. But it ended up being something that I think that if it wasn't there, maybe the mining operation here wasn't going to be as beautiful as it is. So I think that we are getting to the end of the episode. I don't want to say goodbye without telling you that you have two buttons in here that you can tell me exactly how you feel about the episode, if you like it or dislike it. I invite you to let me know whatever is your answer. You just hit one of those buttons. And if you want to keep going and keep on touch with this series that is gonna become more and more interesting, you just have to subscribe and hit the notification button so you can keep on touch with that. I hope to be able to bring you another episode in the next maybe 3 or 4 days, and well, it's gonna be until the next time. So see you later. Have a nice day.